Eka Onyeka Obiariri. I am here. I'm here to discuss what I tagged systems destructive entrepreneurship. And what is that system destructive entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship or enterprise development is actually geared towards creating value in any society. I've always said an entrepreneur is a value creator. A value creator is somebody who adds value to the economy, and by adding value and solving a problem, he creates wealth. When the scripture says that God has called us and planted us to replenish the earth, to be fruitful, to add value, to multiply, it simply means God has given us the ability like God. The Bible says God worked for 6 days and on the seventh day he rested. God created us in his own image and he gave us his mind. God has given us the ability to solve every problem. There was a time that it used to take almost weeks and months for sea voyage to travel from America to other parts of the world before two brothers, the Wright brothers, decided, oh, we want to invent something that will shorten the time of travel across different geographies. And they invented the first airplane. Today, what we have is various modified and better versions of what they did. Basically, they fulfilled that scripture. Subdue the earth, replenish the earth, be fruitful, multiply. So an entrepreneur or a value creator is an inventor. He's trying to bring solutions to the problems around it. Whenever you see a problem, I always say to anybody who can listen, if you in my school of thought, whenever you see a problem, you have the right to complain, but always look for the opportunities in that problem. Every problem is a well of wealth. When you provide solutions to that problem, the solutions you're providing are the cups that allow you to draw from that wealth. Our own brother Chinede Chego finished from King's College in Lagos, went to Syracuse University, traveled to the US for his master's at Harvard. He was told a story of how he lost his way at the New York, subways, and he decided to create an app. As a smart kid, he knew that other people were encountering the same problem. He didn't stay to whine and curse American government. He decided to create an app that will enable people navigate in such intricate situations and areas. And that was how HubSpot was created. He invented HubSpot. And 10 years after, or thereabout, he sold it to Apple for $1 billion. That's an inventor, that's an entrepreneur creating solutions. Otumba Gaddafi went to a party and he was so pressed, there was no place where he could poo-poo. That was how mobile toilet came about. So a lot of inventions had always come about by entrepreneurs to create solutions for problems. In Nigeria, it's a different thing. Some of us don't even care how we make the money. As long as we're able to get the ego booty, steal it, loot it, we don't care. People stealing from the poor. Go and check I call it destructive entrepreneurship. Go and check the AMCON list. The AMCON list has 90% of the over 5.3 trillion loan that was acquired from deposit money banks using taxpayers' funds belong to less than 350 elites. And these guys do not want to pay. And I will tell you this, I am not holding breath because I know that most of what we practice here in Nigeria is not banking. Most of what we practice here are rent-seeking, criminality. The banks are actually part of the problem. They steal money from customers recklessly. They debit your account. They do all manner of criminality. That is why today you see banks declaring trillions of naira profit year on year. And then the real sector of the economy and the manufacturers and businesses are being destroyed. We know that all over the world, the banking industry grows in the same direction with the rest of the economy, because it is the customers, the healthiness of the customers of the bank that will determine how profitable the bank is. But in Nigeria, because the banks are busy stealing from their customers, with no exception, stealing left and right. And now, most of the people that have their loan at AMCON, taken over by the federal government through AMCON, are not poor people. These are elites who can afford forensic investigators, forensic engineers to help them comb through their books. If the banks have stolen money from you or the banks have messed up your account, you can't abandon the loan at AMCON. Next thing, you get a forensic advisor, a forensic investigator to help you comb through your financial records. And interestingly, at the Central Bank of Nigeria, we have some of the Consumer Protection Department of Central Bank and Financial Institution over the last 5 years have been doing a fantastic job. In fact, under Yemi Cardoso, they've gone higher, top notch. making sure that the system is right. No rigging, and no manipulations. So to be the 1% of the 1%, such that you have billions of naira, tens of billions of naira bad debt at AMCON. You have the resources to engage forensic advisors and investigators and engineers who will help comb through the books. Recast your accounts and then take it to the central bank and protest. When you go to central bank, it will be resolved. What the banks have stolen from you will be packed out. What you are actually owing will be put there. And then you plan the ways of repayment. How can somebody be prancing around as a dollar billionaire doing philanthropy, whereas he has bad loans running into tens of billions of naira at AMCON? Does it make sense? You cannot, in the right conscience, have bad debts, unserviceable debt, loans you could not repay in the deposit money banks, taken by AMCON, using taxpayers' money taken from the poor, federal government funds. And then you are busy doing philanthropy, donating $10 million, 30 billion naira, doing all manner of philanthropy. Whereas you have over 30, 40 billion at AMCON. I don't know how people sleep. And interestingly, most Nigerians are, I'm sorry to use the word, are so dumb. The people you rate as your mentors, the people you rate as philanthropists, let me tell you what I normally do. Once I see any name, if once I see anybody doing Dorime, doing all manner of philanthropy, oh, he donated 10 billion, he donated 1 billion. The first thing I do, once I see them, I just go, I'll just print out the AMCON list and check. But once I see your name in that AMCON list, what I just simply say, this one is a criminal. This one is Robin Hood, robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's so shameful that we do not seem to understand it. Yes, the banks are not innocent. The banks are as guilty as anything. But yet, prove that the banks are guilty. Get a forensic investigator. Get a forensic engineer. Get a forensic advisor. Go recast your book. Go through your book. Pick out the things you feel the banks have stolen from you. Keep out the ones you feel you truly owe. Take it to the Consumer Protection Department and the Financial Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria. And these matters will be resolved. Yemi Cardoso is doing a fantastic job. The Central Bank of Nigeria today is one bank that is excellent. It is one area. When I hear the current government brag about financial stability, I give it to them on that one. Yemi Cardoso has done a great job. Yes, there is a price to it. Of course, people will argue, all of us will argue that NPR at 27.5 is hurting local entrepreneurs because you cannot borrow money from deposit money banks at less than 30-35%. But at least there is financial stability in terms of you can gauge, you can bring in investment and see clearly that rates have been very, very stable. We don't have the kind of criminal arbitrage gap of 300 that I used to have under Emefiele and Buhari under the multiple exchange rate regime. You don't need to know anybody in the central bank to get dollar. Yemi has done a good job. But I expect those on the physical side, the presidency, the governors, local government, to play their own part. No honest entrepreneur, no creative entrepreneur leave such kind of huge debt at AMCON and be doing Dorime. Okay, why would you be doing 10 billion naira, 25 billion, 30 billion naira philanthropy when you have 40 billion naira debt at AMCON? Why not take that money and pay off? And then you can actually pay off and then recast your book. Whatever is excess, the central bank will help you recover it. May God have mercy. You see, some of these guys do what they do because the majority of us are ignorant. It's easy for us to blame government. We have 5.2 trillion taxpayers' money at AMCON. If your name is at AMCON, please go and resolve it. Thank you and God bless.